Hello again. So where was I? I was sober now. I had stopped using all drugs and alcohol except for weed. I was praying on a regular basis to a God that I wasn't really sure of who it was. One of the exercises my sponsor had me do, a sponsor is a person that helps guide you through the 12 AA steps. She had me write down a brief description of my concept of God, and that was God is loving, God is omnipotent, He's all-knowing, all-seeing, all-powerful, and can do anything and everything. Basically, that was the God that I said, this is the God I'm going to believe in. Little did I know that He was real, so real, and that He was wooing me to Him and drawing me to Him because of my humbleness and my repentance. I really had started to see like I was my problem. My ego, my pride, my thinking that I knew everything and thinking I knew how I was going to fix my life, thinking I knew how the world was supposed to be and how other people were supposed to be. I had come to admit that and realize that through working the steps with a sponsor and doing a moral inventory, which is suggested by AA, and we look at our own patterns and our own problems and what we need to do to change and become better. And I was practicing the 11th step, which is sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understand Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry it out. So I was practicing that step and praying and thinking God was going to show me the right career to make me happy. Like I had left nursing because I did that for 20 years and I was burnt out on it. And I was trying various little jobs and stuff and trying to think about maybe going back to school. So I thought maybe God would show me the career that would make me happy and make me a positive contributing member to society, that I could feel good about myself and help change the world into a better place. Or I thought He would bring me the right girlfriend and that would make me happy. Little did I know that the answer was going to be Jesus. By this point, I was seeing God as good, orderly direction. And, trying to follow spiritual principles, not lying, not cheating, not stealing, being kind to others, being selfless and doing service to other people, expecting nothing in return, which are all things that, they encourage in AA. And also for a while, even though I said I didn't believe in God or Jesus, I admired the story that I knew about Jesus. I admired Him as like this loving, selfless person that died to save the world. I had a Jesus action figure that has wheels and it would roll so it would look like he was floating and his arms were movable. And I had a Jesus devotion candle, and I wanted to be like Jesus. I remember having this conversation with a friend and I said, I wish I could be like Jesus and die for the world to help people. If I could die right now and it would make the world better, I would do it. And she thought that was crazy. And, I told her how even people I don't like, I try to find good things in them. Because I knew, everybody has some good in them. So even though I wasn't wanting to use drugs and alcohol, and I knew I was done with that, I admitted fully that I was powerless and I had to not do that anymore. I still was kind of depressed. I still used to get up in the morning and think things like, if I got hit by a bus today and died, that would be okay with me, because I'm done with this world. You know, I didn't want to kill myself and hurt my daughter. You know, I was back to the point at which I used to be, where I was depressed and feeling suicidal, but I knew I didn't want to hurt my daughter. And I was watching this 48 Hours episode one night where this guy had been murdered, and after a couple weeks his friends noticed he wasn't around, and then they reported it to the police, and that's how this murder investigation was opened up. And I got really sad and melancholy, and thought, like, that sounds like me. Like, I would, if I died today, you know, I wasn't that close with my mom or my daughter, and I didn't really have any friends, and I thought, if I died today, no one would probably miss me for a while. And then like I started crying, and that brought up all this other bad feelings about myself. And I went in my room and I tried to like do some meditation and some deep breathing, and I had lit my Jesus devotional candle, and I was laying on my floor and I was crying, and I looked up at the Jesus action figure and the devotional candle, and I said out loud, wouldn't it be nice if you were real Jesus and you could fix me and help me and make me better? And you know, I cried myself to sleep that night, and I started to think, like, the next day or somewhere around that time, I thought, you know, I would get a new sponsor in AA so I could go through the steps again and try to, you know, have more healing and understanding. Like, and there was this woman who was a born again Christian that I would hear her share things in meetings that I didn't like. And I kind of really didn't like her, but I knew from other people that usually if a person is saying something or doing something that you don't like, that maybe you are saying and doing that too, or you need to look at that. So I actually felt compelled to ask this woman to be my sponsor. And I knew, like, I'd heard rumors from people talking that, like, she was a Jesus freak, but I asked her to be my sponsor anyway. So this was just, about 6 weeks after I had this crying on the floor, wishing Jesus was real so he could fix me incident. And we got together one day to do what we call the moral inventory, like a house cleaning. And we spent the whole day together writing and talking. You know, you talk about your patterns, you talk about your resentments and how you feel about certain things, and try to see your part and where you were wrong and what you need to do to change so that doesn't happen again. And at the end of it, she asked me, are you sure that you're not saved already? Because we started talking about religion, and I was asking her about being born again, and she told me this fantastical story about how she, you know, cried out to Jesus one day and had this supernatural experience where this light came into her room for 3 days, and she found Jesus, and she had been deep in the New Age prior to that. So I said, you know, I don't think I'm saved. I told her about that instance where, you know, I had these born again Christians trying to get me to accept Jesus when I was pregnant, and I didn't. And she said to me, well, I actually have the gift to see angels and demons, and usually when I do these inventories with people, and I've done a lot because she's been sober for more than 30 years, she said usually when I do these inventories with people and they talk about negative things, I'll see demons around people, but I only see angels around you. And I was like, what? Like, that blew me away, because I thought if anyone would have demons, it should be me for all the filthy, sick things that I had been doing. And she said, no, I only see angels around you. And I asked her, well, what do these things look like? And she said the demons will look like a dark cloud around the person, and angels look like these fine, bright points of light. And I was pretty amazed by this. I mean, at the same time, I was skeptical, because I never heard anything like this before, but I was like, wow. I mean, it really made an impression upon me, and I thought, I wonder if God's will for me is to accept Jesus. And she assured me that Jesus is real, and, you know, talked about some of the changes that he was able to make in her life. And so I was just like, wow. So I resolved that I would pray about this and ask God if that was his will. And I'm going to take another break now. So may Jesus bless you, and I hope you'll continue on to the next video. Thank you.